I was kind of expecting something different, but that's what you did, and it worked. But,
yeah.
So it was a kind of a.
So basically, I did last time when we did this coronavirus inquiry.
Yeah.
I combined basically the coronavirus, basically to evoke this thing which is in the field, evoke any stuff, evoke it, so that we are aware of it, and then it's kind of, we don't carry a subconscious charge of that. But the best way to evoke stuff, or what I did a reverse inquiry. So what we did, we were like present and calm and all that, so less in thinking. And then I said this, I am not afraid of the coronavirus. So this is like a positive thing, basically, knowing that it's not true. I mean, at some subconscious level, this is not true. So by saying it like that, this is very similar to saying like, I'm lovable just the way I am. Yeah, I'm lovable just the way I am. If somebody who already worked this self-esteem, already worked on their diminished all this. So if somebody already processed this file, when you say I'm lovable just the way I am, then it will be like either neutral or it'll be like, yeah, man, yeah. So, however, if we have any residual negative self-image, or any deficiency story, or any this ego, then basically the saying this in a positive form, it will evoke it, you know. So last time yeah, so basically dropping the reverse inquiry is like, instead of waiting when we are going to maybe get fired, and then, or something happens, and then will come up, oh man, I'm not good, I'm all this. So instead of waiting for some life circumstances to trigger us and flash the unresolved stuff in our face, we are proactively going to pick up a battle, so to say, with the subconscious beliefs. So I did last time, I'm not afraid of the coronavirus. And then I said this also, I'm not afraid of the global crisis, the financial global crisis that may ensue it. And then I said also this thing, which is cool. I mean, also this, I just was inspired by Scott. That's how he did it. That I am totally comfortable with not knowing what's going to happen, you know? So if we were really
control freak,
awake and like enlightened, when we say that I'm totally comfortable not knowing what's going to happen, they will be like, yeah. But the ego is has these three prongs. This is from Laura Lucille, that basically the me feeling, the sense of separation, is going about the business like trying to control, striving to control reality, other people, control, trying to get recognition, control, and security, you know, and trying to control this for safety. And so anyway, this, yeah, so we did some reverse inquiry last time, but yeah, I mean, all right, I will keep it in mind, and we can even maybe do something now. Yeah.
So just to understand the kind of the sequence of events that happens in reverse inquiry, just so that I understand it, I have an idea, I'm not sure about it. So you're giving this positive statement, which will presumably will trigger thoughts that oppose that positive statement.
Yeah.
And then you allow well, back up. First, you sort of go into place of calmness and step into the awareness. That's the first step.
Yeah.
Then you say this statement, and then it'll trigger some stuff. And then the idea is you stay in the mind level and allow these threads, these stories to sort of emerge and rise up. And you're looking at all of that from awareness. This is kind of where it gets sort of fuzzy for me a little bit. So at some point, the energy of the thoughts sort of dissipate, and then you switch into bringing that energy into the body, and then just focusing on the energy without the stories, and then staying in the awareness and allowing that to dissipate.
Yeah, I mean, it's, yeah, so kind of like that, just a little minor. So, I mean, if you do it on yourself is one thing, but if you do it with someone, definitely you have to instruct the person, say, hey, we're going to do this experiment. And so let's first get mindful and be present here. So you don't want to be a little noise in their head. You want to drop this reverse inquiry is like you're dropping a coin in a still water to study the ripples. If it's like busy already, then it will be like you engage with the conscious mind. So if they're more calm and peaceful and present, then it evokes the subconscious mind. So you need to instruct the people that, hey, we are going to do this. So I'm going to tell you something, and then you just notice whatever comes up for you. And you notice what can come up for you can come up as an image, can come up as a thought, a picture, a sound like in a voice, can come up as a memory, or it can come up as a reaction in the body, a contraction, or maybe nothing at all. You explain that, and then you say, okay, so now let's just get ready, and then really be mindful and notice, and say it again, what comes up to you as you hear this. And you say, Hamid, something. I'll go and drop some. Let's see. Let's make it more practical here. Let's.
And for me, the last time that you were reading those statements, the one that really struck, and I worked on a little bit on myself, was it's okay to be vulnerable.
Okay.
That
okay. Okay.
really did something.
Okay. So now we just talk. So don't do it. But let's say we drop this one. It's okay to be vulnerable, and then you just wait. It's a little bit like this, like the Byron Katie, that you are not just thinking about that thing. You are like sitting in presence and not thinking. It comes up naturally. Yeah. So you drop that, and then you see what comes up, and then. Now I did the other one with coronavirus. I did it intentionally. First take care of the mental images and stuff, and then take care of the somatic, of the feelings. So I did it like first that, and then this, that, and this, because our subconscious material is both in a mental realm and emotional realm, sensation realm. So whatever it comes, for some people comes a lot of thoughts and voices. Some people is like no thoughts. It's just like some contraction or some memory. So then the idea is to observe. Let's say if we were to do it like this with you, it's okay to be vulnerable. We just see what comes up, whatever that is. And then it's not that you stay at the mind level. No, you stay as awareness and noticing what the mind bubbles up. You're not staying at the mind level, you are observing the mind level. And then seeing what comes up and then observing thoughts, and also observing corresponding feelings with this and all that. And unpacking it somehow.
Say unpacking it?
Unpacking it, yeah.
I thought I heard.
Yeah, you are fishing.
You get material and then
so if there is some reaction, then that's good. It means that it comes up. So now what we want is that we want to really observe and study without judging whatever it comes, to study it and to study in depth at like a thought level, a memory level, a feeling level, and observing all this, you know, that usually is hidden, is in the closet, you know. And so basically we are bringing consciousness to the unconscious.
And of course, the tendency to kind of identify with those, whatever is coming
Yeah.
up. So the challenge is whether I'm doing it to myself or to a patient, to tell the patient to not.
How about we do it now, man? I think it'll be the best if we do it now. Are you cool? And also, you know, we are not going to go into deep, longer processing session, just to this one. I trust that you are able to take care of yourself, whatever comes up, and, you know, like it works, yeah? So, yeah, so close your eyes for a moment and just be present to your breath, sounds, the crow. And you probably already have some stuff now, but just see whatever appears as you hear these words. Hamid, it is safe to be vulnerable. And just stay and observe, take your time. Notice any images, any pictures, or any bodily reaction. And now I want to engage with you, but stay with the eyes closed and stay present and report from your experience. What's going on right now?
Well, the moment that you said it's safe to be vulnerable, a very loud no came up from me.
No, yeah,
No way.
no way. Yeah. So how about I'll say it again, and then you just see what spontaneously comes up, yeah? And yeah, and see if there's any other part of the body or anything else apart from this no way. So, Hamid, it is absolutely safe to be vulnerable and share your true feelings.
Yeah, just what it feels like is like my chest is contracting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, yeah.
I was just kind of saying it's difficult to breathe.
Yeah. So really allow this like contraction in the chest and really bring your awareness closer to it and notice it inch by inch, frame by frame. You know, this contraction in your chest, hard to breathe. Without trying to change it. Like a researcher and observe, is it like deep inside the contraction? Is it like a ping pong ball? Is it like a whole dish, like a pizza plate? What's the size?
Kind of a pressing sensation.
Mm-hmm. Pressing sensation from the outside in.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, so really fully allow it to be like that. And then see if there's any voice, if this thing in your chest were to say something. It's safe to be vulnerable with your true feelings. If this thing in your chest had a voice, what would it say? Take your time. You said before, no way, no way. Huh? If it doesn't have a voice, we don't need to manufacture it. We're just checking if you were to say something. Also, see if there's any emotional flavor to this chest pressing. There's some emotional quality to it.
Yeah, it's kind of a deep sadness in there.
Deep sadness. Yeah. Yeah. Well, really, you know, it's okay. It's okay to feel sad. So really allow yourself the sadness to be here. It's totally welcome. Yeah, and also let your body, you know, you can let your body do whatever it wants. You can drop your head or move to the left, or just allowing this deep sadness and contraction to be here. And also see if there's any images or memories somehow connected to this sadness and contraction. Just take your time. See what happens next. Any images or pictures?
Well, it's like I'm hiding the truth from the world.
Yeah.
And somehow I know that I'm not capable enough, intelligent enough, loving enough, and I don't want that to be known. So I want, you know, I don't want anyone to know that.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, well, thank you. Thank you for your courage. You know, actually, you are sharing these things right now. But basically, if we slow it down, there's the chest, there's the sadness, and then there's some thoughts, right? You have some thoughts that say that you are not intelligent enough or not something enough, and you need to hide it. Yeah, hide it from the world. If they really knew you, that wouldn't be good. Yeah, yeah. That's kind of like kind of alone in this, huh? It's a lonely place, huh?
It's what I've known. So it's
Yeah.
familiar to me.
Yeah. So if this organization in your chest is these thoughts and all this, how old is this? Like meaning like, is it like 6-year-old, 10-year-old, 4-year-old?
It's in middle school.
Middle school. All right. So it's like middle school is like, how old is that?
Like 12, 13.
12, 13. Yeah. So really, you see, so now I'm going to some other, all right, so I'm going to some other part of the process, and this is going to open and develop. So if you are able somehow to somehow be aware of this and then zoom out of this, you know, and gradually come back You know, you can still feel all this, but just come back to the present. Because this, where we are now, this already we are going into accessing and deepening into core material. And if you're comfortable, you can open your eyes, have a little bit of eye contact with me. You're here, you're not 12-year-old. Yeah, I wanted to take you out from there because this is going to be a whole other, we can go like 30 minutes there. And so I want to talk to you, the mind, and so basically what we have done is that this evoked, so we did, it's safe to be vulnerable. It came, no way, man, no. And we did it again. It evoked this mysterious tension in the chest. And then as we stayed with it, I give you time. Hey, take your time, there's no rush. So as long as we are present and aware, and we don't go for trying to find out or trying to change or why, then the iceberg kind of comes up to the surface slowly. There's some organicity to it. So then it came sadness, and then you said that these thoughts came, they naturally came up. Well, deep down I feel not okay, some deficient, and then I need to hide it, so because if they really knew me, they, something bad will happen. So this is the, so this hiding organization also, I mean, I have these two, is just very similar. So I know it is not personal. I mean, we are personally suffering it, but it's very, very universal. So this pattern is an adaptive pattern, so then if we were to continue, basically, if I were to continue with Hamid, it will be like, okay, so there you are, 12-year-old. Okay, so welcome the 12, stay here with me. Yeah, welcome the 12-year-old and really allow these memories. And what do you see? What's going on? And then he will say, okay, there were these kids there and this and that, they did this, or the teacher laughed, or something happened. So I will have you kind of deepen into that memory. That was a powerful memory, yeah? So then you will be aware of this, and then you may have feelings. I'll take it slow so you experience how it felt, and I'll have you, well, notice what Hamid 12 was feeling in his body, and then I will empathize with it, it's like a 12-year-old, man, it was really scary or shocking, or like, I don't know what they did, but it was, I will empathize with that child that is feeling safe, and also that's how what we need to do. And then all this will come up, and then I'll be like, okay, what was that happened? Something happened, and then they said this and all that, and then what I will go into, what was the message that little Hamid took on from that time? What was the message about the world or about oneself? Yeah. And then, but we stay slowly like this, and like, okay, and then it'll come, oh, well, it's not safe to be vulnerable. I will never show any something. It's not okay to be myself. That there's some kind of belief, some kind of early thing. And then I will have you really observe that, be aware of that, and feel that, and then we can go into, so now basically the reverse inquiry is more like, so we go beyond talking for like 5 hours sessions about all kind of stuff from the past, and the reverse inquiry will just, now it's here, the material is here, so you have a chance to observe it live, and then we are aware of all this, open them up. So then the adult Hamid will see the formation of all that, and then basically it's an ongoing processing now, and So reverse inquiry is more like to, in this case, will be like an accessing tool to access core material rather than just taking a level of thinking. And then that core material needs to be processed, but it's a whole other thing.
How would you prevent the patient from further identifying and further enforcing those core beliefs as he or she is reliving kind of those memories again?
Yeah. So you feel like this, it's, so what will be the truth of your subconscious? When I say to you, it's safe to be vulnerable, your subconscious says, hell no. What is that actually the belief underlying there? I'm asking you, do you know? The thing that you want me to prevent you to identify from, what is that?
Oh, I see.
It's not safe to be open to
Right,
something. It's
right.
not safe
to be vulnerable.
it's not safe to be vulnerable. It's not safe to be vulnerable. So this, it's not safe to be vulnerable organization. It was formed by a 12-year-old. It's most likely that probably something happened before then. So sometimes you can just go earlier.
Right.
So it's like a 6-year-old. And then this is so we shine awareness to the world of the child, the world of Hamid and mommy and daddy, and look at all these things from the adult point of view, which is another part, which is actually the wise, conscious, and so you'll see it differently. You know, that's an outdated belief. There was belief that was created by a 6-year-old, but the 40 or 50-year-old is can see that this is not true. You know. And also as we see deeply and feel the pain of that, it's kind of discharges. Yeah, so you get to the point that you really identify clearly the belief and also how this played out in your life. And so it's not a one session thing. And then the next thing is actually to take that belief and to challenge it, so which will be processing and dismantling or challenging the truth of that. And actually, I was planning to do this circle, to do one of the methods that I like a lot is this Sedona release technique that I wanted to go into it, that I will do tonight. Yeah. And also, at the same time, those of you who are familiar with Byron Katie's work, so the Byron Katie for questions, that is the right tool or one of the tools to kind of unprogram that lying old belief. So I'm not going to go into it, but like you have the client, let's say, okay, so this is it. It's not safe. It's not safe to be open. It's not safe to share what I really feel. Yeah, and have it like as if it's subtitle. Okay, write it down. Okay, and then you're like, okay, is it? I will ask you some questions. But don't give me a goody answer. Just whatever comes, and just yes or no. First 2 questions. Is it true? I will ask you this belief that you have, that you created and you are subconsciously maintaining, that it's not safe to be real. Is it true? Then something will come up. So all this, something will be like, I don't know, no or yes. If it's yes, okay, I'll have you. Okay, so hear that, and also welcome any images, memories, evidence about that, whether it's yes or no, and then so this also unpacks it more. This brings it to the consciousness, and then you go to, is it absolutely true? Is it absolutely true? And then you most likely you will say that no, it's not absolutely true. And then I'll say, okay, well, can you welcome any, just observe whatever comes up. The questions is not just cognitive. The question is also like some kind of probe. Could it evoke? Because now you are bringing this current consciousness to all that stuff. And you will say, well, it's not true. And then have evidences of that, some time when actually you shared with somebody or some people were safe and some, you know, so then you realize, huh, okay. And then I have you go into, as you believe this, what does it do to you? How does it make you feel? And then I'll again be in stillness and presence, and oh, you know, I'm tight, I'm kind of uncomfortable, I'm controlling myself, and I'll just have you be aware of that and keep milking this. The impact of this belief is like it's hard to speak up. My voice does this. I feel that I'm a fraud, and I feel that I cannot trust anybody. Here we have two stuff. You have the belief that. Are you with me? I'm speaking.
Absolutely.
So there's this thing. It's not safe to be vulnerable. This is one thing. So we're working on that. But then what you disclosed to me was that there's another underlying belief that I'm not good enough. So because I believe that I'm not good enough, then I'm hiding this. So we can take each one of them separately, you know. But now we are unpacking the truth of that it is dangerous to be real, yeah. And then what does it do to you? And all this you will feel and think and all that, have those thoughts and feelings about it. And then I'm going to ask you as they subside, and the next question will be like, well, just hypothetically, how would it be if you didn't have this at all, or if you didn't believe it at all? How would you be, or who would you be without this thought that is dangerous to be real? So I'll keep saying it as you are conscious now. So basically all these are playing in the background. Doesn't even, it's there for a long time, you know. So you'll say certain things and will be like, oh, and also probably realize that sometimes you are like that already, you know. It's not this bit all the time is hijacked, you know. And then the next thing is that I will say, okay, how about we just trifosize the something different, you know, and then bring up some opposite, like some turnaround would be like, what would be a turnaround of that? Like an opposite of it's dangerous to be open with my truth or with my feelings. Anyway, so now I'm going to details, but by the Byron Katie work is a very good technology to challenge and loosen up mental stuff. The mental stuff have also feeling stuff. So by the end, basically you will realize that, oh wow, actually I'm believing this thing which is not true. It's old news, you know. And then actually it will come from within you that actually it's not quite like that, you know, and then what it does to you. And so you're being much more aware to the whole this operation. And then I don't think it's a one-time thing, because this is your feature, your core, your whole ego is about one or two of these things. So it needs repeated machine washes, some brainwashing, a few cycles, you know. Byron Katie is one of them, and the Sedona release I want to do later is another one of them. So they gradually are dissolving through the light of the truth, you know.
Do you ever do the trick where you invite an ally to go back to the place with?
So you're talking about bucketing and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, for this one, I wouldn't do it now. I mean, you know, all of these are little tricks that work and all that. To bring an ally, if the client is now identified with some kind of disempowered child kind of state, and they are in that now, and they are weak, and then they need somebody or something, you know. But I sense that he can just see that and he's fine. I don't need to bring an ally in this situation, you know. But
the ally is his adult self.
Yeah, the ally is his adult self, and also all his spiritual work that he has done. So I know he can handle whatever sensation. He's not going to freak out. He's not going to go in trauma thing, you know. But this is a good thing that we can get into at some point, this thing with the ally, and in Hakomi it's called the magical stranger. So basically you have, let's say like this, the parents divorced, and then they, you know, I know somebody like that, and they kept it secret. They didn't want to tell the kids that they were divorcing, so they're trying to protect the kids, and then they didn't tell about it. They were keeping it nice, yeah. And then at some point they said, hey guys, come, you know, and we want to tell you something. Mommy and daddy, we are splitting, and then, you know, on Tuesday mommy's gonna live there and there. And it was like shocking for the child, and also the parents. They try to protect them by like this, but actually the fact that there was no explanation, that's very wounding. There was no explanation, and then basically the child is like, oh, is it about me? Is it that we do something wrong? This is this, there's that. So in this case like that, let's say you work with a client like that, you access that moment, you realize, oh, I realize it's a therapist. Oh man, that nobody fucking explained. This can be very wounding. If something bad happens, and then the adult doesn't trust the ability of the child to understand and tries to protect them, and they don't share what happened, and it's unresolved forever, you know. So here I will, and this magical stranger works when the client, I can see you see that they are in a child state, or they are in the child identity, which is actually good. If they're in child identity, then you can work directly with the child where the belief was made. So you can say, hey, this is like, how old is this? Well, this is like 7. Hey, is it okay? Can I talk to little Hamid, 7? You know, I can ask him, can I talk to the little you? And the person said like, yeah. And then the therapist, now you have to switch. This is inner child work. So when the client is in child state, you need to switch from therapist, cognitive, rational, adult thing. You need to switch. How would you treat like a 4-year-old? You know, so become that. So I become that. So I'm not so rational and cognitive, because there's not, the child is not about that. And then I say, hey buddy, what's going on? Say, oh, you know, so kind of talk to the child. And then I'm like, hey, you know, I want to tell you something. So now I am doing what the parents didn't do. Like, hey, mommy and daddy, they were not happy. And actually happens often with the big people that is not happening. So then we decided to, you know, to split, but mommy and daddy loves you. And then this is really not about you at all. It's not your fault. You are wonderful little Johnny. So all this information goes into the child. So, you know, this is the ally, the magical stranger, you know, that can be used. Yeah.
The therapist actually plays the role of that magical stranger.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, reversed inquiry, we were at reversed inquiry. So it can be used as accessing, basically to bypass the whole thoughts about this and to access right at the core. And then now you have this thing that needs to be processed. Yeah. There is another way to, also you can use this reverse inquiry just to assess what, if you don't know the client and they are talking about some story and you get a feeling, huh, what's this about? Part of our role is to, you know, while being very present with what's up right now. So I'm here with you and feeling you and attuning to you and hearing you completely and being open. At the same time, there is some strategic, this comes from experience and knowledge. At the beginning, it's not possible, but at the back of the mind, while being fully present with the client, you're like, huh, what kind of childhood created this organization? What are the potential where's the GPS on the wounding map, this person, you know, so that you can direct the process towards healing, you know. So sometimes you can say, hey, you want to try this, how about you do it light, it doesn't have to go deep, and just see if they say, oh yeah, say, yeah, you're lovable just the way you are. Be like, how does it feel? Feels good. I'm like, oh great, yeah, okay, so that we rule out this thing, you know. So to identify more like core wound where work needs to happen, so it saves some time. Also, it can be all right, we're doing it on oneself. Yeah, I was like self-cleaning work, so to say. I used to, or you know, another example with other people. I think I mentioned somebody wants to do a business. He feels he's good and all that, but then he's afraid there's sabotage, and I don't know. He keeps postponing. Yeah, you know, this we're postponing, getting drunk. This not this and that.
Netflix binging.
Yeah, and then I don't know why is this happening, and I was like, okay, man, okay, so this get in the right position, and then it's like there's nothing that stands in the way of you being successful doing what you love, and then that will evoke stuff. Oh, shame, I'm lazy, there's something. So this evokes the stuff that is in the way. So this is meant to evoke the subconscious problem. It becomes conscious, so then we process it. Just, yeah. How I was doing it on myself was, yeah, there's this deep belief and feeling that somehow, you know, I am going to get happiness or through relationship somehow, you know. So this, if I get to find the right woman or all this, then it's gonna be okay. So this is what drives usually most relationships, that is gonna fulfill me, is going to do all this and all that. And so at some point I was talking to Laura Lucille, and you know, at some point she didn't knew about reverse inquiry, but she said something like, you know, what you are is whole and complete. You know, what you really are is already whole and complete. I was like, oh, okay. So I will just meditate, and then at the end, I will just say this. While, you know, I was in a context that I wanted to be with someone, I was really like in some kind of child, the sense of lack and need, and the promise of, oh, if only I could be with her, you know, and all this was driving my life all the time, you know. So I would say this, what I am is already whole and complete, which I knew at spiritually level that this is true. I knew this is true, but there's something that is not felt like that. So I would say what I am is already whole and complete. And just wait what happens. In my case, there will come, sometimes there will be this like sadness, and then missing, and like, yeah, but you know, this lady. And so then now I will just observe that, allow that, feel the pain, feel this thing, images, this or that. So what I did, I evoked the core feeling of lack and incompleteness, which is, you know, at the mental level, I agreed with it. At the feeling level, I didn't agree with it. You know, the identity was in the feeling of lack, feeling of incompleteness, and needing a woman to be okay, you know. So I did this. The idea was to do this. I'll do it once, and then some stuff comes up. It wasn't a lot, but with some like a little burning, or some image of somebody, and then I'll just, you know, just be with it from awareness until it subsides. Often there was not much, there was just some visceral unpleasantness that I'll just fully allow and witness, and then it will be calm. And then I will drop it again. What I really am is already whole and complete. And see what's happening next. you know, and the idea until basically there's less reaction. There's less reaction means that the system starts to, you process all the seeming, what doesn't agree with it, you know. This is very good if you already know that you have some, you already know some of the shadow, you know, that you have, or some limiting belief. You can create your own customized reverse inquiry for that, and then you can just drop it after meditation, and then witness one comes up and all that. I was doing this thing also, like, because it seems so complicated, this thing, to have a good relationship. It seemed like so all this, and I was talking to Laura Lucille, who is not so much into this, like this thing. She's like, dude, you are torturing yourself. You are making this up. You can keep it if you want. You know, I'm not going to go into all this. This is all day what you are not, you know. So she's not really a therapist. She's very radically, you know, but it was good for her. And she said to me, hey man, just what do you want, man? What do you want? I'll be like, well, I would like to experience loving, sweet, spiritually nourishing, so fulfilling, so yummy, loving, healthy, growthful relationship, which is okay to want that. This is, I think that's the best thing, you know. Relationships are available here. That's how they set up the movie here, you know, men and women. And then so like a loving, growthful, sweet, yummy partnership. Great. So then I'll do this. I'll go home, and then I'll be like, there is nothing that stands in the way of me experiencing a loving, sweet, growthful, yummy partnership. And there'll be all this like, oh yeah, like, oh fuck, yeah, fuck you, man. Yeah. And then will come all this thing, although I on the top I feel I have good self-esteem, and
Yes.
you know, but they can just like, yeah, man, there's something wrong with you, man. There's something wrong with you in relationship, man. There's
Yes.
this all this and all that. And so I will just drop this,
Yes.
both of them, kind of. I'm already whole and complete as I am. And then, you know, you have the right to go for what you want. This seems like a decent desire, you know. Anyway, so I'll do stuff like that.
Yeah, listening to Terry Real, the one that
Yeah.
you said, it was fantastic.
Yeah.
that was so good. Talked about relationships and couples, and really enlightening.
Yeah. I'll just check this in case some of the people lost us or something. Okay, that's not. So I explained a little bit more about reverse inquiry and all that. I really recommend you guys check Scott, because it's his spiel. Although, you know, they taught us at Hakomi, these are what are called probes to fish out for material. And depending of what evokes thing, you know what's the type of wounding. Is it about safety? Is it about trusting love? Is it about expression? Is it about needs? It's okay. My needs matter. You know, let's say with women, the patriarchal wounding and generations of being property, cattle. Like somebody told me, like even like somebody's grandpa was totally okay to beat the shit out of grandma. That was fine at some point. So it's okay to lie and to cheat, or maybe not even lie, and to just abuse and all that. So this feminine rights is really new thing. So out of that, there's a collective trauma of the patriarchy, and then the women for many generations, this thing, my needs don't matter, I don't have needs, or even if I have needs, they don't matter, I need to sacrifice myself, and then I'm less than. So kind of start saying things like, hey, your needs matter, this. So this will help to save time, a lot of talk therapy, and then evoke the very actually pain body, and we'll have to. It's more like you are bringing the item in the washing machine. This brings it in the washing machine, and then you wash it. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
So maybe I'll stop with this reversed inquiry here.
Dr. Amen, you studied